for the minister responsible for housing for the federal government to come on the show over the last couple of months. And the answer was always, no, he's not busy. He was too busy. Can't do it this day, maybe next week. Anyway, very, very pleased to say that Ahmed Hussen, the minister responsible for Canada Mortgage and Housing Corporation, is joining us now. Thank you so much for doing this.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
You know what? This has been a really challenging year in Vancouver. I'm sure you're aware of it. I've never seen it this bad, with so much visible homelessness, people camping on, public sidewalks, people with mental health issues and addictions issues shooting up. I mean, people are really concerned both for their own personal safety, but really for the safety of people who are unhoused on the streets of Vancouver right now. Vancouver residents have been calling for help, both the city, the province, and people just on the street. What is the federal government prepared to do to help us out this year?
A number of things. I'm really glad you brought this issue up because, we just committed in the speech from the throne to eliminate chronic homelessness right across Canada. Our previous target was reducing chronic homelessness by 50%, but now with the investments that we've made and the progress and the momentum, we believe we can eliminate chronic homelessness from Canada. What are we doing for communities like Vancouver that are experiencing a rise in the numbers of people who are camped outside? I think the first thing I will say is on Monday last week, we announced a new rapid housing initiative. It's $1 billion to build 3,000 affordable and permanent housing units specifically targeted to vulnerable populations, including those who are homeless and those who are at risk of being homeless. I've spoken to Mayor Kennedy Stewart a number of times about this initiative, how Vancouver can take advantage of it, and Vancouver is one of the priority populations that use our federal Reaching Home dollars. In addition to the $1 billion Rapid Housing Initiative announcement, I also announced an additional $236.7 million in the Reaching Home program. That is a program that fights homelessness, and the City of Vancouver has received a substantial amount of money through that program in early April, and now with this new money, I'm also sure that Vancouver will also get its fair share as part of that. So we are doing what we can to deal with this, but it's not just housing people temporarily. With the Rapid Housing Initiative, we want to move people to permanent housing. And the municipalities, especially Vancouver, will be on the front lines of those who will apply to this new fund.
One of the concerns, and it's great that you're contributing money to build housing. One of the concerns, though, is that there's a need for it immediately, and building housing can take a couple of years. So what is being done to house vulnerable people today, this winter?
Yes, that's a really good question. The Rapid Housing Initiative, when we are saying rapid, it is exactly that. It is different from any other housing program we have. Rapid Housing Initiative will only fund projects that can be built in a few months. Anything beyond a year will not go through that initiative. You can apply to other aspects of the National Housing Strategy, but the Rapid Housing Initiative is in response to the mayors who have called on us to give them money to acquire motels and hotels and turn them into housing for homeless individuals, as well as build modular housing that can be built in a few months. There was one project that I visited in Vancouver that took only 4 months to build, from concept to actually people moving in. So this Rapid Housing Initiative is exactly to do what you just asked, what the question asked, which is how can we build rapid housing? And this is the funds that we're making available to communities and municipalities. Many properties are now at a discount price. Now is the time to enable municipalities to acquire them, and this money will do exactly that. They can turn buildings, motels, single-room occupancy hotels and motels into housing. Vancouver already has plans to do that. Now the federal government is bringing the money to enable Vancouver and other cities and communities to do exactly that through the Rapid Housing Initiative. The last thing I'll say about the Rapid Housing Initiative is we intend to get most of the money out before the end of the fiscal year. So this is not going to take years. This is a matter of months. And if the plans are in place and people apply early, we can get the dollars very quickly. And in fact, with the municipalities, I believe we can find a way for them to even present proposals that are already midway in operation. So in other words, if they already acquired a motel in the last number of months, they can apply to this fund and say, compensate us for doing rapid housing. So we're with the city of Vancouver on this.
One of the problems, though, and the province has done this, is purchase hotels, motels, and move people into them who are suffering addictions, mental health issues, homelessness. That has backfired in many cases because there wasn't the appropriate oversight and wraparound services, and it moved some problems associated with homelessness and addiction into other neighborhoods that had not previously experienced it. And people were really angry about that, saying you can't just plunk down a bunch of people who have special needs in a community and just expect that because they have a roof over their head that they're going to be good to go.
I completely agree. I'll say two things. Number one, if we want to meet or exceed our national housing strategy targets, our ambitious targets, we'll need everyone. It cannot just be the federal government. We have brought federal leadership back into the housing file, and we've brought substantial amount of resources into the mix. When we first came into office, we put together a national housing strategy. It was $40 billion over 10 years. Now it's $55 billion. With this new rapid housing initiative, it's $56 billion. But when it comes to folks who need more wraparound support, mental health support and other supports, addiction, that's the provinces provide those services. So we will build the housing. They will provide the services. So in cases where that has happened, it's worked really well. And so we call on the provinces to also do their part. And the province of British Columbia has done a great job at doing that. Hogan's Alley project, the modular housing units that I visited there, we provided the money to build. The province provided the supportive services. So that's the kind of collaboration that will be needed in order to do this right.
It's pretty ambitious to say that you're going to eliminate street homelessness. In what time frame?
We will of course provide a little bit more detail in the fiscal update in the fall, but I can assure you that the Rapid Housing Initiative, you don't have to wait for that money to fund the Rapid Housing Initiative in the budget or in the fall. That money has already been committed. So the applications will be open very, very soon in a matter of weeks. And I've already had a number of conversations with Vancouver Mayor Kennedy Stewart and other mayors across the country to get their applications ready. Because this Rapid Housing Initiative is real. It'll be quick. I anticipate this to be something that will open up in a matter of weeks.
Mr. Hussen, really appreciate your time today.
Thank you very much for having me.